Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. While we aren't our minds or our bodies, what has happened to our minds and our bodies grips us deeply, and keeps us bound in our grief and in our pain and in our worry. Then we don't want to go there, but yet we do, because that compulsive pattern is gripping us. And we think that we're having that thought, but that thought is having us. And we are a host for that activity. We are not those thoughts. We think we have to have them. We become a prisoner. We become a prisoner for the thoughts and what they'll do to our body, to the emotions that are triggered and what those will do to our body. And we become our own worst enemy. And we think eventually we'll get to the bottom of something or get what we need by doing that, because it's a bad habit. And the only thing that pulls us out of the bad habit and brings us back into the reality that we are not this thing, even though it certainly feels like we are. And everyone around us, family and friends, they're all saying, yes, that's who you are, that's who you are, and here's who I am, and let's all do our stories on each other all the time, and nothing else is happening. This is why we seek spiritual guidance. This is why we seek videos where someone talks about something besides materialism, because deep in our soul, we know what we need. We know what we need to hear and see to pull us out, to wake us up. And the waking up could happen right now. And then in 3 minutes from now, you need to be woken up again. It's like constant, because the Maya and the spell we're under and the identification we have with the body and the senses is so deep. And if we don't get constant reminders to wake up, we're going to keep falling back into it. To do those things that help us to clear our mind, such as chanting, such as deep breathing, such as being still in nature, finding satsang, being around high spiritual beings, really allowing that kundalini energy to revive our body, and really allowing ourself to be there for ourselves. Well, that revival takes place, because all that's really happening when the kundalini energy rises, good and bad, meaning things we're going to be okay with and things we're not going to be so okay with, is the fact that it is revealing something. The kundalini energy is revealing as it rises what we are and what we aren't. What we are is divine consciousness. What we aren't is all those things it's triggering and stirring up, like the fear, like the grief, like the anger, like the anxiety. Because those things are embedded in us also. So it's waking all of it up all at once, which can make people feel crazy. And it does things to our body. And it shakes us up in more ways than one. In the end, all we can really keep doing is coming back to the center of who we are. But who is the center of who we are? Because when we're spinning so fast, it's hard to get back to that place. That is what satsang is for. That is what having a daily practice where we just come back to ourselves, in essence, is for. That is what slowing down and breathing is for. All of it's for us to remember that we aren't this out here. We are this in here. And sometimes this in here can be something we don't want to face. But this in here is what we carry. And this in here must be faced. The terror, the fear. And before it goes away, it gets bigger. It gets so big when the energy is rising. Like, was I always like this? Yeah, you were, but you just didn't feel it as much because it's being awakened, to be moved through, to be dealt with, to be embraced. And we're not going to use the word confronted because that means someone's like against someone else. I am against my fear. I'm not confronting my fear. I'm saying I'm okay with this. I can be with this rather than do whatever I have always been doing to get away from this. However sophisticated that was, it was getting away from this. But the joke was you cannot get away from yourself. Yourself as this person with all these complexes moving from lifetime to lifetime, body to body, we cannot get away from. We must resolve and learn to understand it's not who we are. But the truth is we are buying into it, and as long as we think it is who we are, it's going to keep happening. So being in the presence of the moment means dropping the thoughts. They can be there. You can't stop them. You can't control them. You're not trying to because you're not identifying with them. We are not this body, but we are the spirit that rises from this body. And so we keep coming back to the moment, feeling the presence of the truth within us. And we just feel the feelings without the thoughts, without engaging the thoughts, without accepting their invitation. And we just be in the moment and say, I'm okay with being with my fear, but I'm not going to think about the reasons I have this fear so that I can keep increasing it, or depression, or anger, or whatever the emotion is. I am not this. I'm believing it because I've been believing it, and I've created these grooves, these karmic grooves, and these samskaras, and these habits. But how we reverse that is we stop. We recognize it, and we stop engaging it, because when we keep engaging it, the groove gets deeper. We will once in a while, we'll keep falling back, but as long as we're aware, you do not have to be a prisoner of your thoughts. You do not have to be a prisoner of your emotions or fear yourself. I'm doing good today. Oh God, I hope I'm not doing bad tomorrow. I hope everything's as good tomorrow as it is today, because I'm at the mercy of some feeling or some thought. We don't need to see it like that. We need to live in the moment, not engage our thoughts, come back to our breath, and whatever feelings and the residual energy in our body, we be with it. We stop trying to make it go away. But until we slow our life down enough to even see that that's what we've been doing, we can't change it. We can't be free from it, because it is the freedom of love that we need in our life, that is our life, that is who we are. Because that love that we are as presence gives us the freedom from all of those negative things, such as fear, anxiety, all the things we're doing to get away from death. When we know that there is no death, there is just constant, continual, ever-flowing love. There is peace, but we're identifying. And that identification has made us who we think we are, who we're fighting for, who needs to get this and who needs to do that, and who isn't enough, and who was wronged. But who loves who? You have to love you and stop expecting this world to do anything for you. Because as long as we wait around looking for that validation, seeking that validation, needing that thing on the outside, we push it away. Because it weakens us. The less we require on the outside to be okay, the better off we are. That is how we become the master of our life. That is what it means to be liberated. That we don't have anything we need, we don't have anything we have to prove, we don't have anything we have to give or we have to get. And our mind is not our master. We must let go. Because we are holding on so many levels. We let go one layer at a time. We simplify our life, because when we have less to distract us, the truth rises. The truth is so simple. The truth is love. Love is all there is. And when we keep bringing ourselves back to that, through our body, through our breath, not with our mind, so that we remember who we are, not in our mind. We feel who we are in our body. We feel the power of the presence of who we are in our body. This is what the kundalini energy, this is what the Divine Mother is. She lives in us as this energy. This energy begins to rise. We begin to wake up from this game we've been playing with ourselves way too long. And we wake up, and we keep waking up, and expanding and expanding and expanding in this lifetime and beyond this lifetime, in other dimensions and other realms. But in this life, we are born again and again and again, if we're on the right track. And we are liberated little by little by little by little. And we are expanding more and more and more and more. And right before every great breakthrough is that feeling that we're up against something that's bigger than us. And we have no idea what to do. And we keep trying, but everything we did before is not working now. That's when we know we're at a very important place in our development, because it isn't working. And we have no idea what to do. All we can keep doing is coming back to the moment, back to ourselves inside, and taking the actions that will calm our mind. Don't participate in habitual patterns. Keep reminding yourself. Do what it takes to remember, because we need to keep waking up all day long. We hear something, we think it sounds true, we do some breathing, we feel better for an hour, and then we start going back to the old habits. Totally normal, all day long. And that is why we seek spiritual teachers, if we can find one. That is why we seek satsang or group spiritual practices, because the power is there. We can go longer, and we keep coming back. You don't just go once. You don't go to one retreat and think it solves your life. You need it in your life. There's something so much bigger than the parts we play of, this is me. This is me is so limited, but this is me. There's no problem. The problems are gone. The kundalini energy makes you deeply remember everything that has happened, that is stored, that you are, the talents, the abilities, the traumas, all of it comes up for your review, comes up for your experience. Whatever was frozen must be melted. That's how it goes. When the truth sets us free, we have to face that truth first. And it's not so hard when you realize that that relative truth is based on thought patterns, identification with the body. None of that is real anyway, but I'm holding it. I'm buying into it on a level that is collective, ancestral. And so we go back to the divine, back to making our life about the divine, getting all the distractions out of the way, simplifying things, coming back to our heart. We don't know with our minds. We know with our being. We know with our heart who we are. Remember who you are as often as you can. Just take a breath. Feel the truth of the love.